Morning people, welcome back to F Politics. Nigel Farage says he wants to work with terrorists in order to become Prime Minister. And I know what you're thinking. Oh my god, Femi, I know you say a lot of stuff, but you better have the receipts on this one or Nigel Farage is going to sue you into the ground. But don't worry, I've got this. I only need to show you two clips. The first of which you've seen before. I've shown it to you guys before. The second of which is going to make you feel physically sick when you think about it for more than 3 seconds. Here's the first one.
46% of British Muslims support Hamas, support a terrorist organisation.
Now, as we know, Nigel Farage was lying there. He was quoting a survey that asked people to choose who they have more sympathy for: Hamas, an organisation that has committed atrocities, or Israel, a regime that has committed atrocities, but on a scale 20 times the size. But by accusing 46% of British Muslims of supporting terrorism, he was essentially calling 46% of British Muslims terrorists, because people who support terrorism are within the dictionary's definition of terrorists. Which brings us to today and the fight that's going on between Nigel Farage, the leader of the Reform Party, and Rupert Lowe, ex-Reform Party MP. Now, Rupert Lowe hates the fact that Nigel Farage is trying to appear more mainstream and moderate in order to win the next election, which is why he shared this recent video of Nigel Farage today.
We have a Muslim population in Britain growing. If we politically alienate the whole of Islam, we will lose. We'll lose.
So how does one include
We
them?
will lose.
So after falsely accusing half of British Muslims of being terrorists, Nigel Farage says he now needs the cooperation of British Muslims in order to win the next election. So like I said, Nigel Farage says he wants to work with terrorists in order to become Prime Minister. And the reason why this should make you physically sick is because it shows that Nigel Farage has absolutely zero principles or integrity, because he's willing to call half of British Muslims terrorists when he thinks that's in his political interests, and then try and appeal to British Muslims and butter them up when he thinks that's in his political interests. Because I used to make a distinction between politicians like Boris Johnson and those like Nigel Farage. I used to say that Boris Johnson was just an opportunist. He didn't actually believe in anything he was saying. Like he used to say that Brexit would damage the UK back in 2011, in 2013, and then he saw Brexit as a way to ride a wave of nationalism into Downing Street, and it worked for him. But I always thought that Nigel Farage's racism mainly came from a place of genuine hate and not just a thirst for power. But today has proven that Nigel Farage can't even be principled in his hatred. Very disappointing, Nigel. Very disappointing. And for the record, my comment about Nigel Farage working with terrorists should not surprise anybody, because the riots we saw last summer were quite objectively the most widespread case of nationwide terrorism the UK has seen in decades. And Reform Party MPs explicitly backed the rioters. So if they do want to sue me for this video, I would love to have that debate in public, so go ahead. Let's light this candle. I'm Femi. Make sure you follow F Politics, so politics doesn't F you. Have a great week.